I knew something was wrong the moment she said she needed space, because she didn't say it like a woman asking for breathing room. She said it like someone already halfway out the door. She stood in the kitchen that evening, arms crossed, twisting her wedding ring in slow circles as if it were some loose screw she could remove without consequence. The smell of burnt toast still lingered from the breakfast I'd ruined that morning. She wouldn't meet my eyes. And that was the moment the slow, quiet unraveling began. "Mark," she said, voice steady but soft in that careful tone people use when handling fragile things they don't want to keep anymore. "I just need a little distance. To focus on myself." She called it Project Liberation later, like it was some noble journey or personal evolution. But even then, even before I uncovered everything, it hit me like a punch to the sternum. Space wasn't something you ask for with a tremble in your fingers. Space wasn't something you ask for while looking at the floor instead of your husband. I tried to smile. Maybe I even did. But inside something tightened. A rope pulling, straining, threatening to snap. "Okay," I managed. "If that's what you need." She nodded too quickly, as though relieved. And that relief, it stayed with me. In the weeks that followed, our home became a place filled with strange silences. Conversations that used to flow effortlessly now scraped along like stones dragged across pavement. She took her phone everywhere. Even to the shower. She turned away when she typed, angled the screen like a guilty teenager. And her laughter, God, it changed. Softer, but with this undercurrent of excitement that didn't belong to me. The first real crack appeared one Thursday night. She was sitting on the couch, supposedly drafting proposals for work. I walked past her to grab a glass of water, and out of the corner of my eye, her screen lit up. She locked it almost instantly, but not before I saw the notification banner. Project Liberation. New message received. I froze. She noticed. Her shoulders stiffened, her fingers curling tightly around the phone. "What's that?" I asked, trying to keep my voice light. "Nothing," she said too fast. "Just a group chat. Women's empowerment stuff." "Ah." I nodded, pretending to buy it. "Right." She didn't look at me. That was all I needed to know, that right wasn't even close. Later that night, after she fell asleep, I stayed awake staring at the ceiling. I'd been married to her for 8 years. I knew her tells, her patterns, the sound of her breathing in different moods. And that wasn't the breathing of a woman settled next to her husband. It was the breathing of someone hiding a life. But I didn't snoop. Not yet. Some part of me still clung to the belief that love could be innocent until proven guilty. The next discovery came in the smallest, stupidest way. She'd left her work planner on the dining table before rushing out in the morning. A sticky note stuck out like a yellow tongue. I wasn't looking for anything when I flipped it open. Just wanted to put it away. But the page it fell open to stopped me cold. Saturday, 7 p.m. PL meeting. Underneath it, in smaller writing, almost like a secret buried under a secret. Remember. Don't forget the key. Key to what? I didn't know. I didn't want to know. But my stomach had already dropped through the floor. That Saturday, I didn't say a word when she said she was going to yoga. I didn't ask questions. I didn't even look at her too long. But I followed her. Not because I wanted to be right. Because I desperately wanted to be wrong. She drove across town to a co-working space. Dim lights glowing inside, music playing faintly. She parked, sat in the car a moment, then took out a small silver key from her jacket. For a moment, she stared at it, kissed it, and slipped it into her pocket. I felt my heart break right there. Not shatter loud and fast, but crack, the way ice breaks slowly across a frozen lake, spreading until everything underneath is ruined. She walked in. I stayed in the car. I watched her silhouette disappear inside. I don't know how long I sat there gripping the steering wheel. Maybe 30 minutes. Maybe a lifetime. When she finally came back out, she looked renewed. Like someone stepping out of a warm shower into fresh air. A softness in her expression. A glow in her cheeks I hadn't seen in months. She didn't look like a woman cheating on her husband. She looked like a woman falling in love with someone else. But I still didn't confront her. Not then. Not while I was shaking with disbelief and hope and fear all tangled together. The confrontation came 3 days later. I was working late, actually working, when her phone buzzed on the counter. She'd left it charging while she went to shower. Normally she guarded it like a soldier guarding state secrets. But that night she slipped. The notification flashed again. Project Liberation. You were incredible tonight. My throat closed. My chest burned. I didn't touch the phone. I didn't need to. Those 5 words were enough to remove any remaining oxygen from the room. She came out of the bathroom humming. Her eyes met mine, and instantly her humming stopped. What's wrong? She asked, towel around her hair, water still beating on her shoulders. I know, I said quietly. Her face went pale. Her lips parted. She didn't ask what I knew. That told me everything. Mark, she whispered. Who is he? My voice broke despite my effort to keep it steady. She shook her head slowly, eyes filling with tears that felt far too late. It's not, she swallowed. It's not what you think. Then what is it? She looked down, as if the truth was something lying on the floor between us. His name is Daniel, she finally said. He helps me feel alive again. He makes me feel independent. Seen. Independent, I repeated, the word bitter in my throat. You had to betray me to feel independent? She winced. I didn't plan for this to happen. But it did. She nodded, tears falling. What was the plan then? I whispered. What was the endgame of your Project Liberation? She covered her face with her hands. I thought maybe I'd figure out whether I still wanted this marriage. And she didn't answer. That silence was my answer. For the first time in weeks, maybe months, clarity cut through me like cold air. I ended the battle before it began, I said quietly. She looked up. What? I'm done fighting for someone who isn't choosing me. Her breath hitched. Mark, please, don't make decisions while you're hurt. I'm hurt because of the decisions you made. The room felt too small for both of us. The space she'd asked for was finally here, heavy and suffocating. I'll pack a bag tonight, I said, voice almost gentle. You can have all the space you want. She cried harder, reaching for me. I didn't want to lose you. You already did. And for the first time, she didn't argue. I left that night, just a duffel bag, just enough clothing to get by. The door clicked shut behind me with a sound I'll never forget. Not a slam. Not a thud. Just a quiet final end. Even now, weeks later, I still hear it. I still feel it. But for the first time, the space between us feels like something I didn't lose. Something I reclaimed.